Hey, what's up YouTube? It's iAzerXD here, and today I will be bringing you my totally awesome Fluffal deck profile for the pre-March 31st ban list. So of course, this deck is going to have double max C, and that's really the only difference between the deck you'll see now and then the updated one I'll do at a later date after the ban list is in effect. But yeah, we'll get going. As you can see, totally awesome, which utilises the new Fluffal Penguin. So here we go. So we got double Fluffal Penguin. It's a level 4 water, so obviously you can make your Bahamut Toad plays. If it's on the field, you can special summon any Fluffal from your hand once per turn, and if you use it to fuse, you can draw 2 cards, but then discard any card from your hand afterwards. So it just adds a bit more consistency to the Fluffal deck. Next we have free Fluffal Dog. This is essentially your searcher. You normal or special summon it and search any Fluffal or Edge Imp Sabers. Now unfortunately it does have to be Edge Imp Sabers, so you can't search via Edge Imp Chain, at least not until Frightfur Patchwork comes out in the TCG. Next we play Fluffal Bear at 3. So this ratio is either at 2 or 3 for me. Quite recently I've been running it at 3, but I do prefer it at 2 myself. You just discard it from your hand to get your toy vendor, or you can tribute it from a field to target one polymerization in your graveyard and return it to your hand. So yeah, it can you know, recycle your poly or just set your toy vendor, which is primarily what it's used for. Next we got 3 copies of Fluffal Wings. You want to see this card in the graveyard as quickly as possible, so if you decide to run Twin Twisters, it's a great discard target. You can obviously drop it off of toy vendor, but because when it's in the graveyard you can banish it and another Fluffal monster to draw a card, then destroy any face-up toy vendor to draw again. So it's just a little bit of draw power to help the deck keep going for the OTK. Then we got 1 Owl, so you can normal summon it and search for polymerization, or you can pay 500 to fuse without polymerization, so it is your 1 card out to anti-spell fragrance. But aside from that, it's not really that useful, so just at 1 it seems to be okay. Then we got 1 Fluffal Cat. I like Cat just because if you use it to fuse, you recycle a poly that you use back to your hand so you can fuse again, and it just helps you make your Sabertooth and Kraken combo, so it's fairly decent. Next we play 3 Edge Imp Chain. It's a nice level 4, and when it hits the graveyard you search for any Frightfur card, so that's your Factory, your Fusion, and pretty soon it'll be your Patchwork as well. So definitely want to see this guy at 3 because he's not very searchable. Well, not yet anyway. Next we have Double Sabers. I've seen deck profiles that only play 1 of this guy, but I prefer to see him at 2 just because I might want to banish him using Frightfur Fusion when he's in my graveyard. But it's a personal preference, so at the end of the day it's your, you know, your decision. So we play double King of the Swamps. When Patchwork comes out, I'm going to cut this completely. It's just a way for me to get polymerization to my hand quicker. And of course it can be used for your Tiger or something like that, but requires a specific Edge Imp card. So, you know, it's just there. And of course double Maxi. At the time of recording this video, the 31st ban list comes into effect tomorrow, so for now there's 2 Maxi, and I think, to be honest, I will cut Maxi out from the deck completely as soon as the ban list is in effect. So that's all the monster lineup. We're going to quickly move on to spells. So toy vendor at 3. You want to see this card as quickly as possible so you can start dumping your pieces to extend your plays. Double Fusion Recycle Plan. Again, it's just a way to get poly to your hand, and obviously during your end phase you can recycle one of the materials back to your hand from the graveyard. So it's actually a pretty good fusion card. It's probably not worth running it at 3, but 2 seems to be a decent amount. And then of course we've got 3 Polymerization. You kind of need this 3. I mean, if you play 2 then you're a bit stupid, but you know, to each our own. We have our own playing styles and whatever, but I feel as though poly, you know, needs to be at 3. Then we've got 3 copies of Instant Fusion. This always kind of gets cut to 2 or you know, it goes back up to 3. The ratio is a bit iffy for me. But Instant Fusion, it's your totally awesome plays or your Utopia Lightning play or whatever like that. But it can brick if you open up, you know, one too many Instant Fusions or whatever like that. But yeah, 3 for now. It could get cut to 2. Then we got double Frightfur Fusion. You banish materials from your field or graveyard, so it's like a Miracle Fusion but for Fluffals. The 1 Factory, you can banish any fusion card from your graveyard to fuse from hand or field. And of course, when it's destroyed, you recycle and banish Frightfur Fusion. So it's, you know, a decent card to run at 1. Then we got 2 Foolish Burial Goods. You use this primarily to drop a toy vendor to graveyard to search for any Fluffal or Edgeimp Sabers. And even if you open up, or rather you see it late game, you can just send a second copy of itself to the graveyard so you don't draw into it. And the last 2 cards I run are double Dark Hole. Yes, so Dark Hole, obviously board wipe, and funnily enough, I don't actually run any trap cards. The reason being is because it's an OTK kind of deck, so I kind of like going second. I can go first, really, and that's when I'll side in the dimensional barriers and stuff like that. But for now, you know, there's no traps in main deck. So anyway, extra deck wise, we got the 1 Toad and the 1 Bahamut Shark. So obviously, you go Elder Entity Northern, bring back Penguin from graveyard, make this, detach Penguin again, special this. And obviously that's your Toad play. We've got the Utopia and Utopia Lightning combo. Really excited. I've seen the leaked images for OTS Pack 4, in which Utopia the Lightning is ultimate rare. So definitely going to try and acquire a couple of those. Then we've got the 1 Northern. We've got double Fluffal Frightfur Sheep as well. These are your instant fusion targets. Primarily you go into this and don't really give a flying fuck about them. But again, you know, you can cut sheep down to 1 if you really want to, because there are some better things to run, but I think that sheep being at 2 is, you know, optimal for my playing style. Next we have double Frightfur Tiger. This is basically your way to wiping out your opponent's back row if possible. However many materials, you know, it was used for its summon is how many cards you can pop on the field when it's summoned. So you can use the sabers and say 2 Fluffal monsters. You can blow up 3 back row, or if they don't have back row, then just blow up their monsters. And it really helps with the OTK potential. Then we got 1 Frightfur Wolf. Again, the number of materials determines how many attacks it has. So again, OTK. Then we got double Kraken. The new card which came out in Fusion Enforcers. It can attack twice. It can also pop 1 card your opponent controls. However, if it uses the second effect, then it cannot attack directly. And then we have 2 Frightfur Sabertooths. The fact that you can make this guy pretty much indestructible outside of like a kaiju or a bounce back is really overpowered, and when it's summoned you can bring back any fusion monster from your graveyard. Well, any Frightfur fusion, sorry. And you may have noticed that that's only 14 cards in the extra deck. I currently do run a 3rd Sabertooth, but I'd rather run a 3rd Kraken, and I seem to have misplaced it. So for now it's 3 Sabertooth. I would recommend just 2 Sabertooth and maybe a 3rd Kraken, or instead of a 3rd Kraken you could probably run number 38, Hope Harbinger. But again, you know, it's your personal choice really, and this is my deck profile. Let me know what you guys thought about this video in the comment section below. If you're new to this channel, then please subscribe and like for more content. And I'm going to try and get back into bringing out videos on a maybe weekly or fortnightly basis. But yeah, check out my other videos if you want to see what my content's all about. And this is iAzraXD signing off.